Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And we are now on number 3 of our Christmas, crafty Christmas, budget friendly. So we are still looking at the Beauty and Joy stamp set, which is a beautiful 13-piece stamp set with lovely Christmas sentiment, birthday anniversary sentiment, thankful sentiment, lovely tree images, perfect for Christmas, perfect for all the time of year. It's in the Autumn Winter catalogue on page 51. If you haven't got a copy, just let me know and I'm happy to send one out to you. And it is £15, so 13 stamps for £15. Very budget friendly, which is exactly what we want coming up to Christmas time. Doing all our crafts, we want to make the most out of everything we've got. So today we are going to be using this little stamp here, which is the sort of weaved basket. And we are going to just use a scrap of cardstock. Doesn't really matter what colour. If you're doing it pale like this, you want a pale colour, so either the Whisper White or the Very Vanilla. And we are going to be using, this is Crumb Cake. So we're going to ink up the image. And you are going to take it down at the bottom as straight as you can. Oh, I didn't clean that one off very well, did I? Hold on a minute. I was doing something earlier on in red and I didn't clean that stamp. So give me just a second. Let me just clean it up because we've got a bit of a pinky tinge on it. So stamping scrub, or sorry, Simply Chamois, which is absolutely perfect. Right, that should be better. Right, start again. So we are going to ink it up. And we are going to take it just in on the bottom and stamp it down. Then we are going to turn it around the other way, line it up as near to the next image as you can. You'll be able to do it better than me on camera because I'm doing it with very bright lights, which are always difficult to actually see. But you just turn it, rotate it one way and the other. Now, you can then just take a strip of it and use it as a border. But we are going to take it up and we're going to do the next row. Just lining it up. And then turning it round and putting it down. Turning it round again. So what you're doing is you're flipping it each time, which then gives the basket weave running all the way along. So just keep working your way through. You can do it in whatever colour you want. I would suggest doing it in a fairly pale colour if you are wanting to put the sentiment in over the top. If you're doing it just for a background, then you don't have to worry too much. And as I say, you would get your head right over the top and would get it a bit more level than I have. But we want it that way up? No, we want this one this way up, don't we? Got to remember to turn it each time because then you get it as straight as you can. And because it's photopolymer, you can see through it very easily. So you just work your way round as you go. And you can do a whole sheet, you can do just half a sheet, however much you want to do. I'm just doing enough so that I can show you what we're going to do afterwards. But it just shows you that you can use your stamps for all sorts of things and get the very most out of all your stamp sets. Now, I'm obviously doing this a little bit quicker now. You will take more time to get it perfectly lined up, which you can do relatively easily. But because I'm working on an angle, because my camera is literally right above my head, I don't want to, there's going to be some little spaces in between, but I don't think that that'll be too bad. Okay, so we now have a rather fun latticey background. And as I say, you can cut it into strips and use that for strips on there. Or you can do what we are going to do. And we're going to use some punches now. So I'm going to take the sentiment. So the sentiment is A Joyful Christmas to You, which, as I say, works for all of your Christmas things. And we're just going to put that up on there ready. And now we're going to get some punches out. Now, in the annual catalogue, we have starting on page 186, you've got all sorts of different punches. So we've got starburst ones, which give you a scalloped edged. There's a story label one, which is quite fun, which just has a nice little background on there. You've got a scalloped top, if you just wanted to do the top. You've got, this is me turning over, you've got circles. So you've got circles that go up to 2 1/4 inches and go down to 1/2 inch. You've got a tailored tag. You've got everyday label, which is one that we're going to be using. So that's the everyday label. Sorry, there's going to be a shine on it. I'll turn it that way around. You've got a timeless label. You've got a pretty label. So lots of different punches. And most of the punches are, as I say, you can use them again and again and again. The quality of our punches is brilliant. You just have a little lift on there. So once it's closed, you can store them perfectly one on top of the other. And so we are going to use this one. Oops, says me just opening it. So we're going to use this one to cut out the first little label. Like that. And then I'm going to use one of the circles. And I'm going to cut out 2 of the circles. So we'll have one there. And we'll have one here. You can sort of play around with it so you get it with the most amount of the patterning on that you want. In fact, I could probably have even got another one out of there, but I'm only going to do 3 for now to just show you. Then what you need to do is to take a sponge and to just I'm using the 2 colours, soft suede and crumb cake on this. So we're going to use it with the crumb cake and literally just sponge around the sides. That then brings the pattern in a little bit more and makes the edges prettier. So that's that one. Sponge around the edge of this one. I like using the sponges rather than the daubers because you can get a slightly more variegated look to it. You can see my fingers are covered in cherry cobbler because I was doing a cherry cobbler one before. However, I found it was a little too dark. It would be fine if you were embossing in gold over the top, but just for the pattern, what I wanted to do with it, it just came out a little bit too dark. Okay, so that's the cherry cobbler. Now we're going to use the soft suede, which is darker. And we are going to put the sentiment on top of there. So you can choose which way round you put it. You can have the pieces sort of coming down at the top or on the side, however you want to do them. But we're just going to put the Joyful Christmas in the centre, like that. That's that one. and this one like that. So you have some quite fun texture for the background of anything that you want to do with it. Now, what I've done is I've used it as some tags. So I shall show you these tags. So these are our 3 that we've done. And I have, this year, I'm doing quite a lot of packaging, and I've got friends who are doing packaging in brown paper. Brown paper is very popular at the moment. So, you know, brown paper packages tied up with string. So I didn't want a tag that was overly sort of coloured to go with brown paper packaging, because as I say, at Christmas time, brown paper tied up with some pretty string works beautifully. So I've done this one, which I took the circular one, just put it in the centre, and I punched out a larger circle, and I've put it on a tag. You can put it on a square if you haven't got any dies or things like that. Just cut yourself a square and just punch a little hole in the top for the tag. Now, this was done with the lovely scalloped lace trim. The great thing about all of the ribbons that you can get within the Stampin' Up! Catalogue is that most of them are 10 yards long. This is about 2 or 3, if not 4 times as much as ribbon and trim that you can buy elsewhere. So your ribbon is going to last a long time, making it very budget friendly. Now, I have shown you how to do this before, but if you missed that video, if you put some snail all the way around the outside, and then you literally take your lace, and as you pleat it round in your circle, so you just sort of pleat it, you stick it, it will stick onto the snail at the back. And I have done on this one, I have done 2 layers. So I've got this layer behind the first one, and I've got this layer behind the second one. Then I've used punches again. So this is the sprig punch. Again, I will put links to them all down below so you can get them if you want to. And I've just put those at the top at the bottom. I put some more lace down at the bottom because I wanted it to be quite lacy. A couple of pearls on there, some lace at the top. And again, that will make a very pretty tag. There's room on the back to obviously put your messages. I can put a to and a from on there. But that's a pretty tag to do with the circular one. So then let's have a look at the what I did with the label one. And again, I just did this with ovals. So these are the stitch framed ovals. But again, whatever you've got, if you haven't got ovals and things, just do them in squares, build up the layers. This is another punch, absolutely beautiful punch to be able to do a flower. Again, the link will be down below for you. I've used the Merry Christmas ribbon at the top. And again, just a few of the little sprig punches on there. Now, this one, if you look, you have got a different sort of pattern on the background of this one. This I used, this one. There is a beautiful little swirl on there. And again, all I did was punch it round. So I didn't use the other parts of it. Just stamped it, stamped it, stamped it, stamped it, stamped it, just on the edges, which just gave that little swirl pattern. It also gave a rather nice little cross piece on the top of there. So again, a pretty way of doing it, makes a lovely nice little tag as well. And then the last one was more simple, because this is definitely going to be on the brown paper packaging. And on the background here, I stamped it in the soft suede, and I stamped it with this little image. So again, made a pretty little background on there. You've got the basket weave on the front. You've got a leaf punch at the back in very vanilla, and you've got in the crumb cake the sprig punch. And so you've got that one as well. So some pretty ideas to use with it, and you are still only using the one stamp set, which is the Beauty and Joy, which is just £15. And we've now done our third project, again, making something a little bit different. And we will be back to do a project number 4 and a project number 5 before we move on to another stamp set. And we'll do 5 of those with another stamp set. So if you haven't subscribed, do look at subscribing. Click the notification bell so you get to you don't miss anything. And we will be working through on a budget-friendly Christmas, making the most of every single stamp set that that we have. So thank you so much for watching me. Do look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.